True story. I used to live in Box Canyon, where psychopathic serial killer slash cult leader Charles Manson used to hang out with his Manson family. Now, it's not as crazy as it sounds. I lived there 30 years later, and a lot has changed. In fact, I even recorded an album out there called Songs from Box Canyon you can listen to online. But Charles Manson used to think that the Beatles were sending him coded messages in his songs. And if that wasn't weird enough, one day I was on a hike. You see, I used to just walk out my back porch, go down into the canyon. There was like a creek or just a little, wasn't really much, just a little water running through there. And then I would go into the canyon and do these hikes. And one day, it was a beautiful day, the sun was shining, and I came around this bend, and I saw chiseled in a rock, Helter Skelter. Now, Paul McCartney came out later and said that the song Helter Skelter by the Beatles was just inspired by a fairy-ground ride. You see, Paul McCartney wanted to write something chaotic and something edgy, and so that's what he did. The song starts off with this epic riff that sounds like this. All right, so we start off on the 5th fret of the 2nd string and the 7th fret on the 1st string. That's the notes E and B. And you just hit those two as a double stop and then slide down. Just get off it real quick. And then you go to the 3rd fret on the 2nd string and then the open 1st string. So we have this kind of bluesy sound here, almost like a blues riff or turnaround. But what we're going to do is play 16th notes. So there are going to be 4 strums or plucks per beat. We're going to count at 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and we just hit both those notes and then we drop it down 1 fret at a time every measure. So it's 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... Okay, then that high E is ringing the whole time, but then the note on the 2nd string is going down. And then after the 1st fret, we go to a G chord. And I just play this as a bar chord at the 3rd position here like this. So that's 3, 5, 5, 4, 3, 3. It's the full chord there. And we play one measure. Here we switch to an 8th note rhythm. So that's just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all downs. Then you go to E7, which is open 2, 2, 1, 3, open. Another measure there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now there's one other note. When the song starts off, we spend 1 bar here before the vocal comes in. And it's like, when I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide. Okay, so it's gonna go 3, 4, and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4. When I get to the bottom, I go back. Drop it down. Drop it down. And G. E. So that's the first part. And as I mentioned, this is coming out of the blues. Like, you know, it's in the key of E, and a blues in the key of E might use the chords 1, 4, and 5. Here we're gonna have a little change. We're gonna have the 1, the flat 3, which is that G chord, and then we're also gonna have an A in the next section. But all of this ties directly in with the blues scale. And if you don't know how to play the blues scale in any key, anywhere on the neck, then go to johnmclennan.com/blues-scales and get your hands on my free blues scale PDF guide. This is going to show you the easiest and fastest way to start jamming the blues anywhere on the neck, and it's completely free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/blues-scales, grab that now. This is also going to help you when we get into the solo with this song, because it's just pretty much pure blues scale as well. So after that, we start the B section, right? So I'm just calling this the A section, you know. When I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide. 1 and 2, then G, then E. Okay, now after this is the next part. We stay on E for 5 bars. We go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2. 3, 4, 5, then up to G for a bar. Now the first time we play this section, it's 5 bars of E, but later when it repeats in the song, we're gonna do 1 less bar. So you have to listen to the vocal, you know, it's like, don't you want me to make you 2, 3, 4, 5, then up to G. Okay, and then we go, you ain't lover, but you ain't no dancer. Okay, so we go up to A there. So there I played the G chord, which we were on for 1 bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then you move up 2 frets and just let it ring. 1, 2, 3. Then on the and a 4, you hit it and get off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to E. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, after this, we hit the chorus where Paul sings Helter Skelter, and we've got these cool bluesy figures and riffs that sounds like this. Helter Skelter, Helter Skelter, Helter Skelter. All right, so let me break this down. We go to an A chord here. This is the open 5th string and the 2nd fret. We're gonna play this cool bluesy figure, where we just rock back and forth from the root 5th to the root 6th. And I also am adding a light mute to it. So instead of like all out, I mean, you could rock out like that, but here's just a slight, kind of more that rhythm and blues vibe than. Love that part there. That's the open 3rd string, 4th fret of the 4th string, 2nd fret, open, then 4th fret of the 5th string, 2nd fret, open. So it's. Then you do the same thing, just up 1 string. We're on the E blues rhythm, riff. Then back to A. Then here you play the low E, and we do this really just kind of dissonant. We play the 5th fret, again back to the blues, right? Like that, but we play just the 5th fret on the 2nd string with the open 1st string, and we bend up. You bend slowly up from that 5th fret up a minor 3rd to the 8th fret, and you just kind of progressively move it up. And then you hit the low E, okay? So the rhythm there, it starts on the and of 1, 1, and then all 16th notes. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Then hit the low E string after that. So here's the chorus one more time all together. Helter Skelter, Helter Skelter, Helter Skelter. All right, after that first time, and remember I said that we play that E7 5 bars, then all the other sections after this, it's only 4 bars. So here's what that would sound like. You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, then up to G, then A, 2, 3, 4, and E. Then back to the chorus. Helter Skelter. Same as before. From there, we hit the guitar solo, and that sounds like this. 1, 2. So we've got some cool kind of manic bends here. This solo was played by Paul McCartney. It starts off with that little double stop that we began with. The E and B notes here, you go. Just hitting those together. Then bend the 15th fret on the first string. Just real quick on the downbeat. So it's 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Just kind of get off it after that. Then on the E of 4, so 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, you bend up again, and then on the downbeat, play 15, the note G there. So again, there's your blues scale. Right, so then that's the next lick. So that's a quick up and down bend on 15 of the second string. So it's up, down, up, down. Then 12th fret on the third string, 14th fret on the fourth string, then finish bending the 16th fret on the third string. So then the final lick goes, just like we did this previously, we went, now we do the same thing on the 12th fret of the third string. Then bend 15 on the second string. So up and then release. 12th fret on the third string. Finish on the note E, 14th fret of the fourth string. So again, all that is right out of the blues scale. Here's what it sounds like one more time all together. There you have it. That's how to play Helter Skelter as taught from a guy who used to live in Manson's old stomping grounds. Take your time with this one, especially those bends in the solo. Those can be tricky to get right. And if you really want to nail this anywhere on the neck, then go to johnmcclennan.com/blues-scales and get your hands on my free blues scale PDF guide. This is going to show you the easiest and fastest ways to start ripping blues lead guitar like this anywhere on the neck. And what's really great about this song is you can see how much of the blues influence is in this rock tune. So go to johnmcclennan.com/blues-scales, grab that now as my gift to you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you might like this one next.